So welcome to the November koha-US General Meeting. We have a note in the chat about an AI note taker who is visiting us here today. I'm not quite sure. Oh, we could kick it out if we wanted to.
Who is Nick?
I had that same question because I don't see a Nick in the meeting.
Is anyone okay with, how do we feel? Do we want to?
I mean, on the one hand, it's a public meeting.
Nick?
Yeah, I can't remember what mine. I had one time. Yeah, it had its own name.
Oh, okay. So it's not Nick's note taker specifically.
No, it's Charlie's, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's a public
Charlie,
meeting.
are you?
I have no idea what this AI thing is. It's just, it said note taker Nick, so I was like,
that's right. Don't you dare call him Nick. That's note taker Nick.
That's right.
Given that I don't know where this is going to be stored or where it's going, I'm with Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
I agree.
Yeah.
maybe it's
If it's part and parcel of the meeting recording, it would be nice if Zoom told its account holders that when you record, an automatic note taker would start, as opposed to just doing transcription, which is what it used to do.
It worked. Goodbye, note taker Nick. I don't know if any of you asked note taker Nick to join our meeting. We could talk about that more in the future. I'm not.
Hey, there's an agenda item for next week's board meeting.
Okay.
I guess that brings us to announcements, and I'll make the announcement of, hey, let's please let us know if you're going to send a note taker AI in your own stead, and then we'll know who it came from and probably greet it more favorably.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we have note taker Kristi already.
Try.
Thank you for that. I would like to link also. Thank you.
You're welcome. We have no official announcements on the agenda. Does anybody have announcements that didn't make it to the agenda? Brandon, is that you raising your hand?
Lloyd, he's our new technical support specialist at CLAMS. So if you start seeing Lawrence around in the community meetings.
What's his title again? In name? I see Lawrence, but
No, you're good. So Brendan, Lawrence, what's your title? Oh,
I think
we
they
might
might
be
be
having some
typing.
trouble. An IT coordinator? No, that's not it. It was something like that.
I'm sorry, I think we were frozen a little bit.
Yeah. Can you repeat Lawrence's title for the minutes?
Everybody's frozen to us.
Yeah.
Sure. It's technical support specialist at CLAMS.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again, Lawrence. Lawrence was at koha-US. You may have seen him there.
Good to see you.
Speaking of conferences, I know a bunch of folk are about to take off to New Zealand to KohaCon. I don't have like a specific thing for anybody to do to act on that, but know that KohaCon's coming up. I think it's all streaming if you're interested in watching some Koha International conference presentations. I know Jason is going to be presenting with Lizette about baby devs. I've not paid attention to the schedule to know who else is presenting what.
I'm presenting about CCPL's Koha journey on Tuesday.
Cool. Well, safe travels and happy conferencing to you all.
Can somebody post if there's a link or
Yes.
whatever, or post to where we would go to get the link to tune in?
Yeah, how do we find that?
Jason, can I ask you to do that since you're not taking minutes or leading the meeting and know where koha-US or koha-con lives? Oh, can't talk today. Thank you, sir. It's a race. Kansas has us well covered. Thank you, George, as well. Since I have the floor, I will also make an announcement that Koha version 2511 is preparing for release. The soft feature freeze, which means sort of the first big gate of if your stuff's not ready yet, it won't get in, is coming up next week. So we've got a lot of cool stuff in there. I would be hard pressed to come up with specifics of what that cool stuff entails, but we could talk about it when we move into the like general unstructured buzzy time of the meeting later. But that's fun. We like a Koha release. Any other announcements? Oh, Fred has something in the chat. Something to occupy yourself on the way to New Zealand.
It's kind of amusing.
I will leave that for y'all to explore.
There's another comment in there, Andrew.
Yeah, Angela asked, is voting/nomination for the next koha-US conference in 2026 still open? I think that moves us nicely into new business, where the first item of new business is 2026 conference location submissions. I'll turn it over to Chip to talk on that.
Yeah, so the process, the proposal process officially ended October 31st. And we had two libraries get proposals in by the deadline. And yeah, so it's kind of closed, but I don't know. I forgot to send reminders about it, so I feel a little guilty about that. If there was a strong argument to reopen them, maybe we could, but that might not be fair to the people who got them in on time. Anyhow, so the proposals we have are from Fayetteville Public Library in Arkansas, and the facility looks great. I don't know. We can talk about this in more detail at the conference committee meeting, I think. But the dates are August 18th through 20th, and that's what Fayetteville proposed. And Utah State Library put in a proposal, and their dates would be September 16th through 18th. So I'm not sure. Beyond that, is it appropriate to talk in more detail about these at this point, or should we?
I would suggest waiting just in case you find out that one of them is not going to work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So conference committee meets right after this meeting, so we'll be discussing it there. And yeah, it's great success to have two proposals. Yeah. So all right. I guess that's all to report, unless anybody has any questions.
That's exciting that we do have two. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, if anybody wants to attend the conference planning meeting immediately after this meeting, well, on the next half hour anyway, that's of course open to everybody. Otherwise, I know we'll be working to get that ballot up sooner rather than later. So all of those proposal details should be forthcoming.
Okay. All right.
And Angela, if you or somebody you know was hoping to sneak another proposal in, I know Chip was talking about trying to get 2027 location lined up sooner rather than waiting until after next year's conference. So you could look ahead to that.
I'm sorry, people plan that far in advance? What?
We would love to plan that far in
Yes.
advance. It hasn't happened
Or
yet.
don't.
You
Even
look at
if you
like,
don't necessarily plan, as long as you know kind of where it's going to be, you know, or people start putting in proposals. And hey, whichever one doesn't win this year, maybe the loser, quote unquote, is our 2027.
Yeah.
yeah, I know that's
But yeah,
gonna. Go ahead, Juliet.
Oh, the further out you can prepare, sometimes the better it is, really,
I mean,
for
we have
scheduling
construction.
purposes.
We have construction going on for the next 2 years. So can I put my vote in for 2028? Is that too soon? Is that okay?
I think it would be awesome if we could get to the position where we could announce at the end of the conference, this is where it's going to be next year.
Yeah, it'd be fun for
Yeah.
the sort of discussion of that, the sort of PR excitement, and also nice for just the number of dominoes that need to fall into place to get the conference together. The sooner we start that chain, the better.
I agree. I think that would be really nice. That's why if you have 27 planned, you can announce at the end of 26, say this is where it's going to be. Everybody can plan for that. You know, because these last minute plans sometimes make it difficult to get other people. Like if I'm at the conference and somebody else wants to come and we don't know when it is, and
Yeah.
you know, last minute we're trying to get somebody else there. And so the more you know, the easier it is for scheduling, for planning, for everything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Just my thought.
But one thing to note that Lizette brought up is that in 2027, the way that the International Koha Conference works is that it can't be on the same continent 2 consecutive years. So it was in Montreal last year, it's in New Zealand this year. So starting in 2027, because we already have I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years. I'm a little rusty on that, but anyways, so 2027, it's eligible to be in North America again. So that if when we start thinking about the 2027 conference, that might be something to think, because in the past there've been, I think, maybe 2 instances where the KohaCon and the koha-US conference were at the same location, but 1 or 2. Yeah, Bob says Portland and Lawrence. So that's something for us to keep on the radar as well when we're thinking about 2027.
Fair point. That is a fun overlap when it can happen. Tangentially, the 2026 KohaCon International is in Germany, if anybody's been looking for an excuse to go to Germany. Believe that moves us to the next item of new business, which is officer elections. The nomination window for 2026 officers for secretary, member at large, unsupported, and vice president / president-elect has closed. We received 1 nomination for each position, which is great. It means we're going to have an election that's largely devoid of drama, tension, but that's okay. I'm very happy about all of the folks who have nominated. I think they will be a great slew of candidates and officers. But yeah, I had emailed originally that voting was going to start November 10th, and I think we're still on track for that. I was doing some bylaw reading this morning and ran into some weirdness in how our officer election information is phrased in the bylaws, but I don't think that need hold us up. If it does, you'll get an email from me by the end of the week that says, ooh, actually, those elections are going to start later. But yeah, we should be on track for that. And again, it's not going to be the most hotly contested election. We will be joyfully approving everyone who has self-nominated. Thank you all so much to everybody who self-nominated. Thank you to everybody who thought about it and decided this was not their year. Does anybody have officer election questions? I don't mean to be cagey about the bylaw thing. I just don't think you all want to listen to me go on about it. My ancestral attorney forebearers come out and it gets dull.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the chat, and on a sidebar, George says before the pandemic we would get 4 or 5 location proposals.
Yeah, I think the
What?
most we ever had for proposals one time was 5.
That is wild.
And couple that with the fact that each site could select multiple date ranges, and you can see how things got rather messy rather quickly.
Mm.
Yeah, there's some sweet middle ground there of enough possibilities, but not too many possibilities.
I think the year that we had 5 was the year that we had McKinney and Round Rock both submitted proposals. And that was the first year that we did ranked choice voting using SurveyMonkey. And kind of the issue became that McKinney and Round Rock kind of split the Texas vote, and we ended up in Pueblo.
Oh yeah, that does sound familiar.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that voted for Texas, but because half of them voted for McKinney and half of them voted for Round Rock, neither one of them was able to pull it off. But we've been to both of those places now, so if you know, the lesson to learn is, Robin Hastings in my office submitted a proposal for Lawrence every year for like, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years. And then finally she said, I give up. Nobody's choosing Lawrence. And so then the next year I submitted a proposal for Lawrence, and we ended up having the international conference in Lawrence. So don't give up. If you really want to have the conference, just keep submitting proposals. Eventually somebody will see the benefit of coming to your community.
See, that sounded like the lesson was get George to do it for you.
I had a great time being the person, the point person for hosting the conference. But I can wait until, the next time we have it in Lawrence should be about 6 years from now, because I hope to retire before then.
Best of luck.
I hope to have it here before I retire, but I doubt I'll ever have it here if we don't ever get a new library.
We've already had it there. We were in Coeur d'Alene. That's as close as we're going to get to Liberty Lake.
Oh, okay.
I'll get into inter-Midwestern state fights, but I won't touch that one. Every part of Idaho is unique and beautiful.
It
Well, that's
is,
the
but I'm
thing.
in
Georgette isn't
Washington.
in Idaho.
I'm in Washington.
Oh, right. Okay, now we're just cracking wise. So I think that moves us to the next item of new business, which is SIG meeting adjustments in November and December. The Systems Administration SIG meeting, which normally would have been November 11th, has been kicked a week to November 18th. I saw Juliet is in here somewhere. Juliet, who leads the SIG. The agenda here suggests that the December meeting will also be kicked a week.
So I think system administration should be good for December. They're just trying to avoid the Veterans Day holiday on the 11th this month. But my question is for George and the consortia group. What was decided about the November and December meeting dates for that SIG?
Yeah, November, because our meeting is on the 4th Thursday of the month. The 4th Thursday of November is always Thanksgiving. And this year, the 4th Thursday of December is Christmas Day. So we were planning, I thought it was on the calendar for the 11th, but I'm not seeing it on the calendar for the 11th.
Yeah, if you let me know when it will be, I'll be happy to update.
I'm pretty sure that I put it, that we said on the 11th, and I'm looking for the agenda. It was on the agenda for last month's meeting, which I missed. Sorry about that. There was a family emergency, and I ended up getting there, like getting into the room when it was already over. And so my thanks to Bob and Nikki, who kind of stepped in there. So I'm pulling up the agenda for that meeting right now.
As George confirms that, I'll just say generally the koha-US calendar page will be up to date once we confirm these dates. It remains sort of your best place to confirm these things. I know sometimes
Yeah.
if you copy that all over to your calendar, it doesn't get updated.
December 11th at noon Eastern.
Thank you. And so that'll be just one meeting, or no meeting in November, one
No meeting in
December.
November. The meeting in December will cover both November and December.
And Georgette, did you guys ever decide what you guys were going to do for circulation? Isn't yours currently in December?
Ours the fourth Wednesday of the month. So we're actually good. I'm
Right
working
now?
those days until 3 o'clock. So
On December 24th?
oh, wait a minute. No, the fourth. Am I looking at it wrong? Oh, I'm off.
So
You're
I'm
right.
talking
We're
November and
closed.
December.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. November I was looking at. I think November we're gonna be okay. December we'll have to bump ours possibly to the 17th. I can let you know. I'll talk with John and with our group, but we should be okay in November because that's the day before Thanksgiving. I'm working. I don't know how many others are. I assume they are. Christmas Eve, they have actually given us off this year. So, and then New Year's Eve, we're also, we leave early. I could do it New Year's Eve, but I'll check with everybody and I'll let you know.
Okay.
But Thanksgiving or the November should be fine.
And thanks for letting me know when these things change and being
You're
patient with getting the updates and the updated emails out.
I think also Lizette mentioned this month's Baby Doves is canceled because we'll both be in.
Okay.
And it does say canceled on the calendar on the event.
Okay.
And then
Oh
I'm not
boy, I
sure
really
about
need to, I'm going to be sending a very edited monthly meeting roundup follow-up today until.
And then for web dev, I think we'll just do the same thing we did last month. Lucas isn't going to koha-con, right? Andrew, do you know?
I believe that is correct.
Okay, so I won't be there, but I'll just send out an announcement and hope that people show up and talk.
Okay, so customization, same back
Yeah,
time.
sorry.
back
It's
channel.
called Koha
Okay.
Customization now. I forgot we changed the name.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a, yep,
That's a fine
that was
name.
the
About
one
that.
thing about meetings I remembered to change this one. So, all right, so baby devs will also be canceled. They'll meet again in December.
Yep.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Kristi. Yeah, I guess watch for it. If that messy conversation confused you, watch for a follow-up email.
Yeah, it's
And let me back up and underline the fact that the web dev SIG has changed its name to the Koha Customization SIG, mostly to avoid confusion about what baby devs versus the development committee versus the web dev SIG all do. But yeah, if you've heretofore been scared off of the web dev SIG, it's where people talk about how to make changes to Koha using CSS, jQuery, and HTML. And if that's a thing you like to do, those are the people to talk to. So hopefully the name Koha Customizations makes that a little more clear and disambiguates between the various groups. I think that was Christopher's idea, or he pushed for it. He's not here, so we can't thank him directly. But it's a good idea, and thanks for it.
He'll probably see the recording. So he's a rock star, Christopher is.
I was gonna say, I was gonna ask, how is he doing with all of his stresses and stuff?
He's doing well, and he is done with everything. So all of our the split is done and the items are all withdrawn that belong to the libraries that are no longer part of the consortia, and so he's got everything. He's doing pretty well. He's doing okay. He's handling everything like a pro.
I knew he would. I've just been worried about him.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stress, a lot of things on his plate.
It is, and he was the only one doing it. We lost the other two tech people. So I've been trying to help him keep up with tickets for, when patrons need to renew cards and things like that, so that he could just concentrate on, on everything else. And so he got it done. It's only been about 2 months and he's got her done.
We recorded 3 videos yesterday, so
Did you?
He seems to be doing okay. He was
Yeah.
explaining all the issues to me. And I know a lot about that consortium, or the old consortium, because I used to live right near there, but he seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
busy.
Just background information for the assembled group. The consortia for which Christopher worked, CIN, which I think was Cooperative
Yes.
Information Network.
That is correct.
So a big old consortia in Idaho dissolved, reformed in various constituent parts, and it was kind of a to-do. I mean, in that it was a lot of work for various people.
Yes.
Largely Christopher.
We are now called Inland Share Library Group.
What I was suggesting to him is what I said to him is that this is going to make a fascinating presentation at next year's KohaCon, because at next year's conference, because
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you have people that take apart a consortium and then
Put it back together.
Put it back together into 3 different consortia? So
Yeah.
it's not something you encounter every day. So I look forward to that presentation.
That'll be a good one.
We were nominally on the topic of SIG scheduling. Any other SIG scheduling questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll move us on to our last item of new business, our perpetual business. Hey, George, do you have any updates on the Koha Charitable Foundation?
No, we didn't meet last month, and the plan is that the people that are part of that group are going to meet at KohaCon in New Zealand. I won't be there, but they will meet. And I think that we've really got almost everything kind of done. So I think probably at the beginning of the new year, you will see we will be moving the process along to create, to get our membership, the Koha community's membership, into the World Open Library Foundation.
Cool. Thank you for the update of nothing to update and for all of your work on that. Any questions about the Koha Charitable Foundation before we move into open discussion?
Well, as a side note, I would say that Jason and I did go to WolfCon, the World Open Library Foundation conference in Kansas City last month. I don't remember if we've talked about it at one of these meetings, but one of the ideas was to try that joining WolfCon would give us a presence in that community. I don't know how Jason feels about it, but I felt like the conference was overwhelmingly folio. It was primarily a folio conference. I did go, and Jason did go to several other, I tried to learn about Global Open Knowledge Base, is one of the other members of the Open Library Foundation. They had one presentation, and I learned a little bit about that. There was also Open Records for Cataloging, is an organization that is trying to create basic, simple cataloging rules for small and rural libraries. They had a presentation, but most of the presentations were folio or folio related. Next year's conference will be in Prague So I don't imagine a lot of us were going to go to that, especially since, like I said, it's mostly folio. But they seem to be doing this thing where they're 1 year in Europe and then the next year in North America somewhere. So if it comes back to the US in a couple of years, it might be something worth trying to create more of a Koha presence there. The general topics, like the keynotes, were all really good, that were mostly about general open source concepts. And Chris Cormack's presentation, the last presentation on the last day, which he asked them not to record it, was probably one of the best presentations of the whole thing. It should have been one of the keynotes, but it was about how the Koha community works in the open source world and why the Koha governance model works for us and what Maori values inform the Koha community. So those parts of the conference were really great. I learned a lot more about Folio than I ever expected to or wanted to learn. And so I don't know if Jason wanted to say anything about WolfCon, but it was mostly a Folio show.
Yeah, I think I mentioned last month that it was FolioCon, but we did get some good information also about the different open resource sharing options, which we're sort of investigating further. So it was worthwhile.
All right. Well, thank you both. I believe that moves us into open discussion, bugs, issues, etc. Somebody stuck a 2511 bug on there. And then I jumped the queue and put a 2505 bug on the agenda. Those of you who are Bywater partners probably got an email about this yesterday. We noticed that the cron job that updates patron categories based on age had its logic changed a little bit. So in Koha, you can set a lower age requirement and an upper age limit on any patron category, and then you can set the update patron category cron job to bump your juvenile patrons up to regular patrons when they get old enough. And the way those age limits gets enforced changed in 2505 on a quietly sort of misnamed bug that we all overlooked. So it's not a huge change. It just means that whereas previously the upper age limit was the age that patron category cannot reach. So if you said your upper age limit for juveniles was 18, that meant on their 18th birthday, they became regular patrons because juveniles can't be 18. That changed to that upper age limit is the oldest age that patron category can have. So if you have your upper age limit set to 18, those patrons update on their 19th birthday. It's kind of a confusing change just because it's hard to talk about. You can see how many words it took me to say it there, but it does make it consistent on both ends. The lower age limit is the youngest a patron can be, and now the upper age limit is the oldest a patron can be. So it's inclusive on both ends now. But if you are one of the many, many libraries out there that is using the update patron categories cron to automatically move patrons into a new category, you probably want to go into your patron categories and bump all of those upper age limits down by 1. And then probably do a little work to find all of the folks. Well, I was going to say do some work to find all of the folks who should have been updated but weren't since your 2505 upgrade, but the cron job will catch all of those people on the next day. You'll just have a glut of changes that should have happened and didn't yet.
That's what I was just about to ask, is will the cron job catch these people up tomorrow? Because I've identified all of the people already, and I wanted to know if I should run some batch edits or if I can just let it sit till tomorrow. And my strategy was going to be to wait till tomorrow and see if it changed. If it hadn't, then I would batch edit. So
And double checking tomorrow is certainly a good idea, but it should. So anyway, I'm abusing my bully pulpit here to just make sure everybody sees this bug because it's a very quiet change. Would be hard to spot if you didn't know to go looking for it. So somebody else stuck on here, bug of interest in 2511, bug 31698, add ability to move a hold to a new bibliographic record / item.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is one I put on there, and so let me double check the status of it, but this is a bug that my library sponsored, and it's on needs documenting, and it looks like it's going to be in 2511. So what this does is it lets you move holds and retain their hold priority from one bib to the next. So like for us, we get like, you know, nobody watched HUDSON HAWK for like a decade, and now all of a sudden everybody wants to watch HUDSON HAWK. So the only edition we can get is a different copy. This is the first title that jumped to mind. So we still have an old copy of it on one bib, but there are 18 holds on it now. So if we were to get another copy that ended up being a new bib, this would allow us to move those holds to start trapping on that new copy. So we're really excited about this, and I just wanted to let people, it wasn't specifically HUDSON HAWK, George. It was just could have been Mansfield Park, could have been any number of titles where all of a sudden we get a bunch of holds on the DVD. Or a new edition of like Animal Farm comes out and we have a bunch of school kids on hold for it. Like, so there are a couple of use cases for this, but we're excited to see this come out, and hopefully this might help some other people too. There were a lot of holds on HUDSON HAWK. I'm just saying, we had to buy another copy of it.
Oh, why? I suppose Bruce Willis is declining health, like doing a Bruce Willis
I don't know.
retrospective.
We do have, like, when things are new, like newly cataloged, they get sort of pushed as like a newly added. So maybe if people were looking at the catalog, they were like, I don't know, I haven't seen that one in a while, so I'll put a hold on it.
It is a fun development. Like I know that will help a lot of folks manage their holds as they, but yeah, particularly around like buying new editions of things that come in on a new bib record.
So I have something to talk about. I like this development. I like it a lot. I'm really happy for it. I'm in the middle of working on something with answering a question from Bywater for a ticket I sent in yesterday. So I've got a test card here, so if I can share my screen, I can show you what's going on. This was reported to me yesterday, and I think it's been something that's happened since the point update last week. There was a point upgrade sometime in the last week or so. So I scan the patron's card, and this is just a test card. And then I go to holds, and when I click on delete and confirm, it doesn't delete the hold. It takes me to a generic checkout page. And if I go back to the patron's account, the hold has not been canceled. And if I click here and then cancel selected, nothing happens. And I've confirmed this on my system, my test system, and on the koha-US demo site. And what's happening is you'll notice up here that the URL is find borrower and then the card number for this card. If I go to checkout, the URL updates to borrower number, and it switches from being the card number. It switches from find borrower equals card number to borrower number equals borrower ID. And then if I go here and click on cancel, it works as expected. So the reason I was just testing that is I just got an email from Bywater saying, could you clear the cache and try again? So I cleared the cache and tried again, and it's still showing the problem. So what I was hoping is maybe somebody out there could go and test this and see if you've upgraded to, I think everybody was, all the Bywater customers were probably upgraded to 25.05.04 to see if that's happening on your system. And maybe if, maybe we can figure out what's going on there. And I tested it in Chrome. I tested it on the koha-US demo site. I tested in my production is where it was discovered, and on my test server is where I tested it yesterday. So if a couple of more people could see if it's happening, then maybe we can find out if this is a bug or if it's just my system and or my browser. I tested on Chrome and on Firefox, so it'd be nice to figure this out before.
It's happening on my test server for sure. I just
Okay.
tried it.
Well,
Oh,
I'll
that's rough.
update the ticket right now with Bywater because I just got their email from.
I'm on
about
Edge
this,
and
so.
it's working for me.
It's working on Edge.
Yeah.
You can't be giving us reasons to use Edge. That's the worst.
They're making me use it. It's just like can't do anything about it. Unfortunately, IT is a whole different power I can't fight against.
We're Edge as well, and I haven't noticed any issues with this, George. So maybe it's Edge just seems to be liking that better. But yes, we're in the same boat as Charlie. We don't have a choice. We were told what we had to do.
We told them we like Chrome, but they don't care.
And
We
Edge
tell our
really
people
is
that
Chrome
it's.
anymore.
We tell our member libraries that we support Firefox. So if
We
you're
told them
using
about
Edge and
Firefox.
it doesn't work, we're not going to be able to help you.
So
at the very
backing up-
least, I'm going to let them know that Jason's having the same problem too. So
we are at PCLS too, George. So I'm in Chrome, by the way.
okay, I will update the ticket then and let them know that clearing my cache didn't work and that koha-US, SEKLS, and PCLS can confirm that they're seeing the same issue.
So George, am I correct that it currently on Chrome and Firefox works properly if you go to the checkout tab?
Yep.
Not to the details tab. So
yeah, exactly.
It's a workaround, but yeah, that's the sort of thing that I'm sure Bywater will work to correct quickly.
I hope so. I'll share, this is the PDF I sent to Bywater walking through my steps to recreate the problem on my system.
Or you could just tell the patrons you don't want the hold anymore. That's too bad.
Yeah.
It's mandatory hold.
Yeah, I'll just tell my members that, they have to wait till the hold comes in, put it on the hold shelf, let it expire, and then cancel it. So, it's such a weird thing because in order for it to happen, the patron has to come in, you scan the card, and then you go to hold. You go to the holds tab to cancel. So I'll it's only going to happen when you scan the card, is when it seems to happen. It's when you scan the card and it goes straight to the borrower record. Because when you go to the borrower record, when you go straight there, the URL, like for this particular borrower, comes up as this. But if you go to checkout, but if you're at the checkout link, this is the link that you get. So there's a difference between the circulation.pl find borrower and then a card number versus circulation. Yeah, and that's the likely culprit. I was looking for cancel hold problem, but Andrew's put in a bug there that's probably the issue.
Yeah, which is globally in Koha 25.05.05, but Bywater put it into their 25.05.04 build because everybody wanted it very badly. But my guess would be that that's the root of this because it changed how we handle single patron searches.
That's probably it. So I will now add this link to that ticket as well. So thanks everybody for helping troubleshoot this.
Thanks for bringing attention to a weird niche issue.
Yeah, it's a weird bug. If you look the patron up by name and click on the link, it's to go to them. It's not gonna have the same kind of problem.
I want to back up. Juliet asked a question about patron age ranges. She asked, do we need to do anything if we don't use the cron to update your patrons based on to update their categories based on age? You should not have to do anything if you don't use the cron, but I would play with creating and editing some patrons and just make sure that those age ranges are being enforced the way you expect them to. The bug that changed this came about because the staff interface was already treating those age ranges as inclusive, and the cron job was doing them differently. So they made the two match. They just made the two match in the way that made a very quiet change that was hard to notice. So I got distracted by a very active little animated thumbs up from Zoom.
Yeah, I see it on my server.
Does anybody else have bugs, issues, etc. they would like to talk about here in our open time?
When I was at the Bywater Q&A of 2505, there was talk about in that recent point release that there would be a limit to available library added, unless I hallucinated that. And I'm not really seeing how that works. That could be because I have jQuery that was already doing that, and maybe that's conflicting, but did I hallucinate that? And if not, what does that look like?
That sounds a little familiar.
Because I remember there was like a whole talk about how it was very different, that there was going to be a new feature added instead of a major release, but I can't see any evidence that it actually exists.
Can you explain the behavior one more time?
So the idea would be that when you do a search results in Koha, you have a filter where you can limit to the library you're logged in at.
I know we definitely have customization for that.
Yeah, that's what we have too, but if there's like a better look to it, I wanted to see if maybe we could pull off that jQuery, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we had a jQuery that Lucas did for us that did that, and then he implemented it properly in Koha. But I can try to find that bug. It's something I'm pretty sure Lucas worked on it.
Yeah, I'm also digging around for that. Sorry, Trey, go ahead.
Oh no, I feel like I heard that in a meeting yesterday, Bob, with the Aspen for Koha users, maybe, but maybe
I was leading that meeting, so that was probably something else. Because yeah, I don't think we talked about that particular. Yeah, and I was looking at the list of bugs that were talked about in that Q&A, and that feature isn't listed on that the Google Doc.
I'm happy to dig around and track down that bug. I'm not seeing it, seeing it quickly enough that I want to make you all watch me look for it. But Brendan has a very intent face, like he's going to find it before I do.
Yeah, I did see that in my notes. I looked back at my notes for that. Oh, actually, I think it was the consortia big. that there was going to be a point release from Koha that limits the search to the library you're logged in at. And I remember thinking about that because I think we've already got some customization that does that.
So you're talking about a catalog search, right?
Yeah, and I might have been the one that mentioned it in that consortium meeting, so it's possible I'm a vector for some sort of misinformation here.
If somebody could find the bug, I'd like to see that. What I like about the jQuery that I wrote, and the jQuery that limits those to only show the items that are available at the location you're logged in at, and that's gone through like 6 or 7 different versions over the years. The first time I saw it was at the koha-US meeting in Wenatchee, Washington in 2014 when Nick had a version of it, and then Nick and Heather Braun from NEKLS modified it, and then Christopher modified it and I modified it. The thing that I like about what I've got in my system now is that if I have a group of libraries like a group of libraries grouped together, like the Donovan County Library District, it shows all 4 of those branches, not just the branch that you're logged in at. And that's what I would want out of this kind of development, as a way to say, base it on library groups, not individual libraries. So if there's a bug on it, I'd like to see that, because I'd like to make sure that that need is met. Because I don't want the Sabetha Elementary School to look at their to do a search and think that, nobody else in the school district has that item, has a copy of that. So I would want to make sure that it works in a way that's going to work to meet the needs of a consortium, not just the needs of an individual library.
We talked long enough. Brendan found a thing. Yeah, add a filter for staff search results to filter by library. And that does look like it is not dealing with library groups. It is just your logged in library. At least I don't see any mention of groups. Yeah. So that sounds like group support would be a good follow-up bug.
Yes, it would.
This one says push to stable, and I don't really know what that means. Does that mean it's going to come out soon, or it's already out? Because I'm still seeing the white spaces in the attributes.
Push to stable means it's in a version of 2505, but if you look in the versions released in, it's 250505, which is one step ahead of where y'all are at.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
So it's possible that the next point release will actually produce this.
Sorry, we jumped bugs. The one that Brendan linked to, the searching one, is in 250504.
Okay.
Should be on your site now. The one that Charlie linked to, 40917,
My mistake,
is in 2505. I don't think it's your mistake. I think it's the messiness of human language. I missed. Yeah, Angela had a question about bug 39545.
So this one got put out with the 2505 update. Basically, it was, enhancing the ability to create a child record from a parent serial record, and it generated more information in the 773 to link them together, which is awesome. Except that it's bringing in the 003 as well as the bib number from the parent, and so that puts an alpha code from the 003 in front of it. And when we try and export it through OAI out to our OPAC, it doesn't know what it's talking about because it's looking for just a number. And so I kind of updated the bug saying, hey, can we turn this off? Can we fix it or whatever? And it's basically a closed out bug, not totally, but mostly. And so nobody's really paying attention to it. So I think I have to open a new one. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, open a new one and mark your new bug depends on this bug. And if you have not already opened a ticket with your support company, please do so.
Yeah.
I'll need a little assist, maybe putting a bug in at some point. I may contact you, Andrew.
Sure.
I have an idea for one that I would like to see, the ability to, if a patron has more than one child, to be able to add more than one child at a time, you know, to their record as a guarantor. So I need to put a bug in for that, I think, but I've never done it. So, but you know, we sometimes will have a parent that has 2 children and you say add guarantor, then you have to go back, find the parent again, then add guarantor again, so on and so forth. It'd be really nice to be able to just say continually, you know, add. We run into that a lot.
Sure.
So
I'd be happy to help you put in a bug. I would also say
thank you.
It's not as hard as you're imagining it to be. Like really, no one's looking for you to start with a highly technical explanation, just to like plain language. This is what we want to do.
Okay.
But that said, I'm very happy to, if you email me, we can find a time to jump on Zoom and do it together.
Sounds good. Thanks, Andrew.
Sure. We are bumping up on time. Ben says he finds it helpful to put in a sample workflow when you create a bug. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. My phone's ringing in my pocket. Be quiet, phone. No. Okay. Sorry, didn't silence myself. Any last things in our final 2 minutes here?
I tested this thing that Bob was talking about, and I can see it on my test server. It just puts like a little yellow button at the top of the search results that says show local items only, and you can toggle it back and forth.
Oh, it looks like you got to turn it on with a system preference.
Correct.
That makes sense. All right. Well, with that, I believe our meeting has come to a close. The conference planning meeting will be over in its Zoom shortly. If anyone wants to jump in there, I might take a pause myself and see if that phone was about the furniture I'm supposed to get delivered this afternoon. Thank you all for your attendance.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
See you all later.
Hey, everyone.